let's click the live button and let's get grab my pen. Okay, good morning, everyone. It's Friday, June 12th, 2026. New day, fresh start. Welcome to the morning game plan. I'm Manny. The purpose of this show is simple: live futures trading, real-time technical analysis, and actionable trade setups, all with the focus on building the real trading skills and the mindset designed to drive consistent profitability. Every morning we come in with the same goal: to build out the structure before the open so that we're operating in alignment with the day's dominant forces. Not guessing, not chasing. All right, team, let's get into the charts. We're going to start off as we do every morning on our higher time frame. We're going to build out the framework for how we should approach the day. We'll start off on the 4-hour time frame on the left-hand chart. This chart is getting quite a bit busy. So let me just begin with a fresh one. Okay. So immediately we see that we have this high that came in, which was our last rally high. And if you recall, that was on Tuesday. That was our look above and fail of the Monday high. So that high now becomes our reference point. Okay. Any type of structural shift takes place if we eclipse and can convert the 74.91 high. We're going to frame that out today as 74.90 to 7,500. Okay, if price can get above there and show some acceptance, meaning we get several closes above there and we extend higher, then that would signal to us that this retracement of the move that started on the March 30th low, the 63.53 low, is over, and we can start targeting higher. We can start looking at higher targets. The next structural reference for us would be 75.25. So in fact, you know, it gives us a good point of reference and a good pocket to really assess what the intention of the market is. And of course, you know, everyone's going to start looking for new all-time highs, right? So yeah, that's certainly a possibility if we can eclipse and convert the 7,500 to 74.90 to 7,500 band. If price comes up and we get a pullback, we consolidate here above 7,500, perhaps even a dip down to this prior high that just came in at 74.28. But if we can convert that and show acceptance, then yeah, we have to start looking at a new all-time high above 76.32. Okay, so that covers our higher time frame upside move. Let's take a look at what we have on the low side below us for supports. Immediately, what we're going to focus in on is this support area that came in at 73.30 to 73.40. Okay, that was if you recall yesterday, that was the overnight high. All right, and we were expecting a squeeze, and we thought that the squeeze was going to happen. I was a little bit early on it in the morning. It did materialize later in the afternoon. So, and we also highlighted that, you know, at some point, if it didn't happen in the morning, it could transpire in the afternoon, and that's what took place. So immediately that becomes our point of reference, right? Because price traded into the 73.35 to 73.40 band, and it's caught so much resistance. Okay, now we would expect that if price does trade back down there should be support. And if it doesn't hold the support, then that gives us a good piece of information that, hey, this retracement is not over and we're going to make further lows. All right. So beneath us, we have 73.35 to 73.40. And then above us, we have today's overnight high at 74.50, followed by the structural high on Tuesday, 74.90 to 7,500. We could get a move that comes down, test 73.38, and perhaps maybe even dips below, but ultimately recovers it and starts to move higher. All right, team. So that covers our higher time frame analysis. Let's get into the 15 minutes. Let's talk about the most bullish scenario, and then we will talk about the most bearish scenario and a couple of trap trade ideas. All right, so to do that, we're going to build out our dual 15-minute time frames. And this way we can have a clear picture of what can transpire on either side and for how we want to approach the day. All right, so immediately we're going to jump into the most bullish scenario. We're opening at 74.16 and price rallies above yesterday's high. 74.20 was yesterday's regular trading hours high. Again, we always use our daytime, the prior day's structure to build out our argument for the current day. All right, and our daytime frame structure for yesterday, one of them would be our regular trading hours high at 74.20. So if price can get above there, and then on any pullback that holds as support, again, we're going to start looking at that as an extension and a higher move. We're going to start getting into long trades, and we're going to start targeting the overnight high up at 74.51. And team, just by a quick look at it, you can see that there is some froth in that trade, right? Because yesterday's high was 74.20. We're trading just below it right now. It's currently acting as a small bit of resistance, but if we get above there, targeting the overnight high, either 30-point distance, and so there are plenty of points to be captured in that move. Okay, so that covers the most bullish scenario. Let's talk about the most bearish scenario. Move this out. Show our structures right here. Okay. Bearish scenario has yesterday's high holding as resistance currently. Okay. And if we get a break below, we're going to target the settlement 73.96. Okay. If we get a bounce at the settlement, we know one of the nuances of ES is that when it trades down into the settlement, there's always a somewhat of a reaction there. Algos and programs are programmed to react and to act at that level. Okay. So what we do with traders is we don't trade that particular occurrence. What we want to do is gauge the reaction of it to trade the next move. Okay, so if price gets to the settlement and we get a strong reaction, or since we're on the most bearish scenario, we get a tepid reaction and price immediately comes back down to just the settlement and now is trading below it, we can immediately use this low that was just put in right now. You can see it already bounced off the settlement once. On any retest, we have to assume that it's going to break, right? Because with every touch, a support will weaken somewhat. Okay, so that low is currently coming in at 74.02. So if price can get down below the settlement, below that 74.02 low, and start to move quickly below it, we can then start looking for retracement to get us into short trades with our risk marker being the settlement to that prior low, 74.02 to 73.96. We're entering short trades and we're targeting the overnight low down at 73.75. Okay. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense, because you can see yesterday, in the overnight session, that settlement bounced several times. Price bounced. Here it converted, and then it bounced once. Here it was reclaimed, it lost it, and then it reclaimed it. So that's definitely a good structure reference for us going into the daytime frame. Okay, let's talk about the bullish trap trade. For the bullish trap trade, we have price rallying and getting above the overnight high. Okay, we also know that that 74.50 band is a higher time frame structure reference, right? So if we get up there and price is unable, bulls are unable to gain a following, what we're going to start looking for is for price to re-enter the overnight range. So look for closes back below 74.51, and on any retracement that's unable to gain acceptance back above 74.51, then immediately we're going to start thinking about, okay, this could be a trap. We're going to start looking for short trades. We'll look for short entries that get us back down to yesterday's high. Okay. Maybe we get something like this where price rallies up. We can even maybe spike high. We do an inverted head and shoulders, but ultimately we fail and come back in. Or where we come up, put in a lower high, and then ultimately get down back below. And then we're looking for entries into that short trade with our risk marker being these local highs here or here, depending on your entry here. All right, let's talk about the bearish trap trade. The bearish trap trade has two areas that we want to focus on today. We want to focus on this band at 73.96 to 74.05. Okay, so if price gets below the settlement and then ultimately fails to gain a following and reclaims it, we're going to start looking for long trades above 7400, above 74.05. We're going to start looking for long entries that target yesterday's high up at 74.20. That same concept can materialize under the overnight low. Okay, so let's draw that one out. If price gets down below the overnight low and fails to gain a following and then reclaims it, we're going to be treating that as a look below and fail, where price looks below, bunch of bears selling the low, get trapped, right? And then market makers love that setup, especially when we are in an uptrend. It's one of my favorites. We're going to look for the overnight low at 73.75 to be reclaimed. We're going to start entering long trades with our risk marker being this local low. All right, so that builds out our 4 daily scenarios. We are sticking to the process. The market is about to open. Let's see what the day brings. Let me know if you have any questions about any of that. Post them in the chat or post them in the pit, and we will get on those immediately. Again, I want to encourage you, ask as many questions as you may appear. There are no dumb questions. I guarantee you that if you have a question, that someone else will have a similar curiosity. And we get better as traders. I learn from listening and fielding your questions. It keeps me sharp. It keeps me on my toes. It keeps me thinking. And I'm sure that other members in the community have similar curiosities. If not, it's excellent for review. So I encourage you, please post any questions about any of these concepts if you have them. And remember, I want to remind everyone, today is Friday, right? So again, we want to approach the day always with a mindset of abundance, right? That there's always another trade around the corner for us. But one thing we want to do is if we've had a good week or if we haven't, we want to always be protecting that mindset, which is our ultimate edge. And we want to make sure that we don't do anything that's detrimental to us going into the weekend. Right? It's better to be conservative on a Friday as you head into the weekend. If you're in profit, trade small, reduce your size, maybe scale back a bit. And if you're not, maybe you try to claw some of it back, but certainly do not get reckless on a Friday to carry that heavy weight with you into the weekend. All right, we can see that price just tested above yesterday's high and failed quite a bit. So here we go. Easy Money says, for a laugh, I got 1 share of SPX IPO. Hey, Easy Money, what did you pay for it? If you don't mind me asking. You requested 100. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Excellent. All right, shifting over to the trade chart. You're not even you're not you don't intend on holding that one share for nostalgia. You know, I I similarly I at one point, so I bought the first Tesla. I bought my first Tesla, and I was this was like this was in the year 2013, I think, 2012 or 2013, and I was amazed by the product. In all fairness, it was my wife who said, "Hey, let's go check out this car." We were shopping in a mall, and I told myself, "What? There are no car dealers in the mall." She said, "No, you have to come see it." So we went and we took a look at it, and I test drove it, and I was blown away by it. I immediately went home and I started looking at the company. I looked up the stock and I bought Tesla shares. I remember I bought just a handful, and then I added in size at $40. And I thought I was a genius when I sold them at like 82 or 83. I was like, nope, I'm taking it. It's over. And needless to say, if I'd have just held on to even 5 shares, I would be very happy about that decision. But you live and you learn, you move forward, right? Life is good. I think, I feel incredibly fortunate, incredibly blessed. I have a great community to trade with. I have a wonderful friends, wonderful family, wonderful community. So not going to lament on anything of that nature. We'll just move forward, learn our lessons, and try to grow from it. All right, so looking at the high here at 74.24, 75 team, immediately what stands out to me is, we know what our expectations are here headed into the morning session. All right, here we go. Looks like price coming down into chest at 74.02 low. It also looks like we might get a retest of the settlement. What year did Renee asked? What year did I sell it? So I think I sold it 2014. It was. I held it for about a little over a year. I remember that for sure. All right. So hey, so heads up. So prices come down. It's tested 74.07 and bounced. And I'll readily admit this is a bit of a muddy read for me. So the best thing for me in an environment like this is just to shift my focus to my trade plan. And carrying that forward, that same thought forward is also that it took me a lot longer to draft a trade plan this morning, just because when these ranges expand, you get flooded with many different references, and it's hard to discern where the market is going to react. Okay, this is a pretty big sell here. Okay, if there must be news out, there must be news out. Heads up. Okay, sounds. All right, team, you heard it there. Seems like Trump is making statements on Iran again. I mean, it's pretty safe to say that we can assume when the tape moves, it's Trump and Iran, or something related to Iran. All right. All right. Good job. Good job. Live action says we. It's like he nailed a crude long. All right. All right. Happy to hear it. Happy sound. Let me have some fun with it. Well, headed into yep. That's a good approach, right? Take what you can get. When as day traders, we have I often say have an abundance mindset, right? Because there's so many opportunities. All right, here we are. We're testing the settlement now at 73.96. Let's watch it, see what happens. Of course, here comes the bounce. We're already trading 7,400, and let's see what happens. Okay. Wait a minute. Something's not right here. Ah, I see. Let me ask you folks a question. Are you all trading June or September? Pretty sure we're all still trading June. Okay. Right. Yeah. So so for the ads, okay. Just wanted to know. Just wanted to be sure. Yeah, I'm going to. I typically will stay with the contract that has the most volume, unless a rollover comes. Unless I see that the volume is here on, say, Wednesday before rollover, then I may switch. But typically, I like to roll my charts over that weekend. It just makes it easier. All right. Oh, got it. It's moving quite quickly here. Just gonna have to take a quick shift. Okay, we bounced off the settlement. Let's see if we get to move the extension back down below. Thus far, the settlement is holding a support. It's like I have some data lag here. All right, we're looking below the overnight low. Let's see if we can reclaim it here. Yeah, I'm having an issue here, team, in that my let's see, my Ninja Trader is lagging, so it's showing me 73.98, but that's not what we're trading. Dang it. All right, looks like we're moving down below the overnight low. Pretty aggressively here. As our ticks hovering below the zero line, oil is rallying. Let's see if this is a news bounce. A news sell into a bounce. All right, hang tight. Let me see if I can. Watching the overnight low here at 73.75. Yeah, that's the part of what we see on the Nasdaq. Let's see. Let's let it close out. It's 9:51. Still 4 minutes developing on a 5-minute. Price is chopping down here below the overnight low at 73.75. Let's give it some time to settle in. Let's see if we can. Let's see how this bar closes. I'm having some data issues with NinjaTrader. Just still reloading. Focus on the Thinkorswim charts. First off, price is moving around really pretty volatilely here. But if we can get a close above, we'll start to get a more constructive look. The way price is moving around, bouncing around here, it might be a first micro trade for me. Yep. Look at now it's moving really quickly here. I'm going to make sure I'm on micros for now till I have a better feel for the morning, if in case this reclaims here. Still have 1 minute for this 5 minutes to form, and thus far, if this is any indication, it looks like it's going to close below it. I do have a valid setup here. But it needs to set up. All right, so we got the close, and now it looks like we're moving lower. We will continue to monitor this next bar. These two bars didn't really give us much of information other than just consolidation at the low. Can always probe it, right? You can always go in with, very small, like if you're trading the mini, go in with one contract, or if you're trading micros, reduce your size. This way you're a part of the move. If it does materialize, you can always add to the winner. Gets you in on the trade. It also gets you more focused and more attention onto what the price action is telling us. I feel like our focus is always more tuned in when we have a position on. We have a better heightened sense of awareness. And if I'm going to nibble one here, let's see if I can get a favorable fill. I haven't done anything yet. All right, I'm nibbling some here. Not yet. God, I want to see if I can get a better fill closer down there to 73.80 or something. Let's see. Be patient, man. Be patient. I had to nibble some there at 87s. I'm just going really small, guys, with the micro. And I put 2 micros on, and I'm out of. Nope. I have 87, and I'm out if it trades down to 83, because I'll just take those 2 off, and then I'd add a mini down there. I'd be okay with that. At least this just gets me into the move. If that was, LOD, or if that does turn out to be the low of the day, something like that. Yeah, all right, we have to remember. Let's focus on the settlement here, right? Settlement is up at 73.96. That's the logical point where if we are going to turn and run into some resistance, so if you're long, I'd be scaling ahead of that. I'm out of those micros. I took them off at 85s. It was 2 micros. I lost 2 points on 2 micros. And I haven't done anything yet. Wow, 171. Tyson points out SpaceX shares are expected to open at 171 in its NASDAQ debut. Yeah, I think the market's going to be giddy about that all day. All right, we're moving up. Hey, team, I grabbed those 85s down there. I got 5 points off, 73.90. I think I got 84s, 84.50. Let me just see. Okay. Manny, is the market blueprint up on X? Yes, Adrian, it is. Let me just double check. Yep, it sure is. Went out a little bit late. It went out a little bit late today. It was a muddy read. It was a tough read this morning, and that 7,400 level, the volume just kept coming in. Like every time I would update the volume on it off Thinkorswim, it just kept getting more and more and more. So I had to. At a certain point, I had to just pull it out. And I just want to give you an update. There are days, right, where because I try to get the best levels, there are days where it comes out super early, meaning before 8 o'clock. And then there are days that it doesn't, because the volume just keeps coming in. It just keeps coming in. Every time I refresh, I get more volume, and I have to update them. At a certain point, like this morning, I had to just throw in the towel. Like I just got to put this out already. I need the levels, and so that was one of those scenarios where you try to wait and get the best, freshest volume reads, and they just keep updating on you. Yeah, a referee says Ninja Trader is so slow it should be renamed Ninja Turtle. Hey, so it wasn't just me this morning, huh? Yeah, man. Funny thing, Rev. I was looking at Ninja Trader, and then I was looking at my dome, and I thought my dome was on September's contract. That's how bad it was delayed. It's like, wait a minute, do I have this right? It's like, no, it's right. It's the right contract. Yeah, it was terrible. All right, so we got the look below and fail. We got 5 points at 73.90. 73.90. All right. Anybody doing anything exciting over the weekend? Post it up. Let me know. Let me know what you're looking like this weekend. Adrian says, okay, great. I see it has the 11th on it. It was a traveling method, but I didn't see it submitted. Let me see. Can you be right about that? Why is that? Why does this have the 11th on it? Hang on, Adrian. Let me make sure that's the right post. Hang on. Did I post the wrong one? Let me go check the source of truth. Yep. Yeah, Adrian. This dang AI. It saved it and posted it on its own. I have an AI agent that does it for me. Let me argue with it. All right. So shifting our focus, that it is being updated right now. I'll get that out as soon as possible. It is June 12th. The levels are correct though. 74.17. And my next setup that I'm going to look for is so we have 74.17, correct? All right. So that's going to be, I'm going to treat 74.17 as a continuation long. But it's going to be resistance until it's not. All right. So we're going to wait for it price to breach above. We're going to wait for confirmation. We want to see good acceptance above there. And then we're going to trigger. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and take this one off here, this contract off. It's a Friday. It's nice and early. I just want to get the 30 points booked. But it just keeps running higher on me. Let's see, what are our ticks? Maybe I'll cover into high ticks, but technically I'm supposed to hold this into 11:30. Let's just go back to the blueprint. Yeah, we have our high scheduled into the 11 o'clock hour. I'm long from the look above and fail, from the look below and fail. We've got 36 points in it right now. Been a nice move. I mean, straight up, these are the easy holds, right? Just stay out of the way. All right, looks like we're petering off here a bit. I want to make sure I book the 30 at least. I'm still not in I'm still not in extreme ticks. I'm still not at a structural reference. I do have what concerns me here is this high right here. It's hard to imagine that we can just go straight through it, right? I can envision more just from experience and being around this stuff for being trading ES for as much time as I have. I'm sure that guys like Rev and David can attest to it. It's just hard to imagine that we would go straight through this without doing something like this, putting a lower high, consolidating, then maybe going up, right? We're waiting for that negative delta. I need a sign. I can't just close it haphazardly. This is when having more than one contract on it really helps, but all right, here we go. Extending higher, extending higher. 73.81. Oh, let me get my drink. Reading charts and eating Beanie Babies. Woohoo! Rev's got one of the best sense of humors in the IM program. Having a sense of humor while you're trading is it's almost like it's very, very, very good for the soul. All right, we're coming up into the upper part of that distribution. We're about to test that high at 74.25. Again, that was our look above. That was our early rally high. And price is just unrelentingly moving higher. Yeah, right? Right, Rev? That sense of humor is so good. Yeah, live action. Yeah, that's probably that's my, well, I don't know. The continuation long is, I'm biased because it's like the thought I was using. The continuation long was probably my second setup after I got organized. Like after I started having a system, that the continuation long has been with me that, since the early days. And then I added the look below and fail. And so the continuation long ranks pretty high for me. Meta is stunned. All right, guys, it looks like we're going to go into a retracement here. Let's see what happens. We came up, we tagged just below that high. I'm going to go ahead and close that trade out and take the 33 points and book them. Plus 33 points on the look below and fail. Yeah, Live Easy Money says, look below and fail to make you think you're smart, though. Totally. Man, Easy Money, that, what do you think? Yeah, and then Reverie says, yeah, easy. If it doesn't work, it's followed by the oh my fucking God pattern. Yeah, yeah, that's there are a lot of things to be mindful of, right? And so, some of the guys that I work with, some of the traders I work with, I should say, I'm not a sexist, but some of the traders I work with, that becomes a core part of the focus is that mindset, right? And not enough people think about trading like so for instance, like the post-win euphoria rule and the stop loss protocol rule, like all of, like, you can get into trading and feel like you are Gordon Gekko from the movie Wall Street at 10 a.m. and then by by the afternoon you feel like you're, you know, like you're worn, like you're homeless and you're living at OTB, or you're betting dog races or something. It can be really, really humbling in a really quick turn. All right, here we go for the continuation long. Nope. I'm grabbing the continuation long. I wanted it to get down to 7,400 or 7,400, 7,405. It didn't give it to me. I paid up for them. I'm paying up for them. I'm looking for the breakout. It's a very small size for me, but the order flow is confirming. I just need to get above this small rally high at 74.21, and I'm wrong below 74.09. I'm going to treat these really dynamically, though. I'm going to, if they come back in, I might cut them and then re-add them right at the bottom, right towards the bottom of that. But if it doesn't go, so just want to point that out. Looking for 23.50. Got him. +5 on the first one. +5. Manny, the other day you asked me about my comment on fractals. You already look at this by using small time frame tick charts. Okay. T Blizz got 19 shares of SpaceX. Yeehaw. Love it. All right, team. So we're moving higher here. I'm in the continuation long. I had to pay up for it. I paid 74.17. I got one off at 74.2350 for 6.5 points. You can see I'm just monitoring this. I'm just trading it. It's a small size. I only will have 2 contracts at best. T Blizz said, is anyone having a problem with my audio? Hey, T Blizz, yeah, let me know if anyone's having trouble with the audio, if there's anything I can do to sort that out. Thanks, Renee. All right, coming back down into the ad price. This is a terrible ad. We had to get moving higher here. If not, I'm going to cut it. It's either got to go or it doesn't. you know. Let me just take a look at this on the tick. Yeah, I don't like it there. Okay, thanks, Adrian. All right, looking up at the ad, trying to take the ad off at 74.2550. Yeah, all right, let me know how I can help you out, T-Blizz. So I took one off for +6. I had 18s. I'm looking for 25 for, I'm looking for, so this is 1875, I believe. Yep, 18, call it 8. We'll call it 19. I'm looking for, oh, coming back in on me. Okay. All right, took 2 points on that one and minus 3. So I got +6.5, +2, that's +8.5. Then I went -3, so netted 5 on it. Netted 5 points on it. Not all I wanted, but whatever. All right, so hey, heads up. All right, where are we at? We're trading 74. Yeah, this area is going to get dicey right here. I wanted to see it move through this with strength and momentum, and it didn't. So I'm going to hang tight now. Maybe give it another shot. Chase I'm chasing the mid AM high. So I want to be long into that mid AM high, which that window opens at 11 a.m. Right. So I was talking to someone yesterday, and I was mentioning, I'll mention it here. One of the nuances of trading the clock is, okay, so we know we have an AM low expected today. That AM low could have come in at the low on the look below and fail, but the window's still open, right? So it could also be a higher low somewhere in here. However, the idea is that we want to be long into that 11 a.m. high. So that's why I'm stalking long trades. I want to make sure I'm in that trade in a long position from a support into that high. That's the idea. That's the hope. We've come down. We were testing VWAP at 74.07. So let this bar close. We have we're at 10:24 coming into the center time of that window. Jay Morrock posts, watching 07s carefully. Yeah, I think this area is 7,400 is, you can see, so it's 7,400 cash has been tough all day, all morning. I think that becomes today's, in the ES, you guys remember how yesterday we had such a hard time breaching 73.88, and then we ultimately faded, and then we squeezed above it in the afternoon. So not sure what's going to happen, but I'm in some 10s here. I'm going to grab some 10s if I can. Okay, whoa, got that one really fast. Hey, I bought 10s. I took off 74.15. I bought 10s. I took 74.15s. So long 74.10. I still have one left. I want to be long into that high, right? I want to be long into the 11 o'clock hour. So I'm buying them right here. I'm buying them at this short-term support, right? Looking for VWAP to hold. And I'm basing my entries off of the order flow. If I get good order flow, if I'm seeing imbalances on the footprint, I want to just not think, I just want to hit them. We have to break out and over 74.20 now in order for these to be good. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. That's all right. You'll get another shot. Don't worry about it. I mean, it's coming right back in on me. So we might have to balance here below that, 7,400 cash, 74.10 cash. I mean, we're above it. 74.10 is where we're trading cash. I'm not sure I'm not sure this entry is going to stick. Structurally, it doesn't look like we go from here. Go ahead and tighten up. I've got +5. I want to go like ±2 from entry. So I'll go an 07 quarter on the stop out. Yeah, this way at least I net 3. If the move doesn't materialize, at least I'll net 3 points. Maybe I get it to stick. Maybe the entry sticks. I did help that little old lady across the street yesterday. Then it's a lock. Make sure I get these vitamins in me. I don't know, what do you all think? Are vitamins just expensive pee? Okay. Yeah, the way I look at it, I tell myself I'm taking them for my kids. I've taken them for a long time. I was a catcher in baseball, and I have a really bad left knee. I've had it scoped like 4 or 5 times, and I tore my MCL, so I've had surgery on it. And I take glucosamine for it helps you with your joints, and that's the one vitamin that does help me. If I don't take it, I feel like tendonitis, it's like tendonitis. It's tight, crunchy. I think it works over time. I think you have to be consistent about it. Just like most things. Reverie says, my doctor says they're better for you than not, especially for a guy like me who often has the diet of like an alley cat. Yeah. I guess the issue with my diet is probably a lack of calories. Like I tend to not be a big eater. I've never been a big eater. Just eat a balanced diet. Yeah, Adrian. Yep, that's it. Just eat a balanced diet. The one thing I do, and I am brought my A game to the table this morning. One thing I am pretty good about is it's just because it tastes good. Is like I definitely I have a protein shake every day. It's like a treat for me, and that thing's packed with vitamins. So I'll take 2 scoops of vanilla whey iso pure protein. That's like about 40 grams. And then I throw in that thing. I'll throw frozen strawberries, frozen bananas, and little 2 tablespoons of cream, 4 Splenda, and then I'll blend that thing bad boy up, and it's delicious. But it's stacked with vitamins. And then now I take a multi too. Now it looks like we're petering out here. We're gonna stay in this balance area for a bit. Coming into 10:30, maybe we get another stab down. This might be one of those trades that I have to take more than once in order to nail the entry and control the risk. So, and that's what there's a difference between over trading and trading around a position and trading to control your risk. Right. So if I'm executing the same idea over and over again, but I keep taking it off because I don't want to sit through a big retracement, then that's not over trading. That's just, trying to keep my risk in check, keeping my account, the risk to my account minimized, while the position is threatening to move against me, and then re-entering it when conditions change. And you all will see I frequently do that. Like if I'll trade around the position, good example of that. So say I'm long 7,400 and then I add 7,410, right? Price trades above 7,410, the thing goes to 7,415. It's coming back in on me, and I know that I have that 7,410 contract, right? So now my average is 7,405. I may come down into below 7,410 and peel that first one off. Hold the 7,410. I know I have 5 points in the trade, or whatever. So say price comes below 7,410, it trades 7,407. I'll take those 7 points off. I'm down 3 points, but I'm really only down 4. I'll keep that math in my head. And then I'll try to add back below my average. So what I'm trying to do is get into the position, control the risk, keep my average as low as possible. But sometimes I can't, sometimes you cannot hold that lowest contract, the first one in, because you need to take the profit on it to preserve the rest of the position. Any questions about that, let me know. Yep. Hang on a second. Hang tight, Tex AD. Okay, looks like price is popping here higher and then coming right back in. All right, we looked above that area. We looked above 74.25 and came right back in, likely hit a liquidity gap. Let's see if those buyers now come back and fill the book up. There you go, Tex AD. Let's check. If it's trading yet, it opens at 11, right? SpaceX. I couldn't get a read on it. It's not updating on my platform. Let me know if you guys can get a quote on it. $10.40. We're coming into the 11 o'clock. Yep. Okay. Glad you're using it, Text AD. So I'm not sure if you heard earlier why I was late this morning. It was a tough read with that. So the setup that it was impacting was, let me just see. Make sure I have that right. So it was setup number one. That just the volume kept coming through. All right, this looks like it's coming back down again. We looked above and couldn't gain any traction. I'm trying to do my best to hold on to this thing, but it's really testing me. It may need to break before it can rally. Still nothing on SpaceX. All right, I took that one off. I break even on the last. I really thought we would get over this and start to move higher, but especially with SPX being at 74.10, but it didn't work. See what the weighted AD is doing. Yeah, J Mark, that was tough, right? I mean, I thought about peeling it at 10 points, and then I just have to stick to that mindset of like, hey, just let it play out. And then the hardest part about holding those is always, contending with you're battling against your brain when you have an unrealized profit, because your brain tells you it's yours. Back to 96 again. Yep. Yes, sir. Indeed. Yes, indeed. I mean, I'm not sure what more I've had one, two, three. I've had four trades. They've all done pretty good. I might just pivot to micros now. I think it's a good time for that. Because I'm nicely situated in pretty much all of them, and it's Friday. We've all been scarred by going into the weekend with an outsized loss, and nothing is worse on a Friday than going from green to red. Yeah, thus far, yesterday's highs continues to hold as resistance. So maybe we're just going to chop around inside the overnight range until later this afternoon. I mean, that's what played out yesterday. It's moving pretty briskly here. Yep. Yeah. Right. And one of those, want to be mindful of not trading just to trade. I'm pretty good about not trading, just leaving it alone. Because for me personally, it's taxing being in a trade all the time. You have to you can't get away from the desk. You're chained to your desk all day long, right? Or during that position, your attention and your focus is on it, and sometimes it just gets a little bit tiring. Sometimes I just want to watch price and sit at my desk, answer some emails. Maybe I just want to have lunch. I don't want I can't be in a trade all day long. I don't have the bandwidth for it. Yeah, I still think it's 10:45. We're in the late part of the window. I mean, this is a pretty deep pullback here. Maybe I'll try two micros, right? I feel like that's just harmless. But yesterday's high, see, now I'm not, now I feel so I have conflicting signals, right? Let me just see what my support is on the plan, and I'm going to stick to that. All right. So, I'll wait for 73.87. All right. I can buy 73.87 if I really need to do something. I do have a valid setup here. It's been setup number 2. Support by 73.87 to 73.91. I like this low here for a higher low, and then a reattempt liquidated on the first test. These guys, I don't know. I'm gonna try one here. Let's see if I can get it at 92. The market blueprint setup number 2. Oh, got it. First point. Got the 5 at 98, 92. I have 92.50. Now and I added at 93.50, and I'm looking for. I'm in setup number 2 on the market blueprint. I'm looking for 73.0850 on the last. If we break out, I'll trade the breakout separately. See if it can carve out a low here. It might need to breach it one more time. +5 on the first. And then I'm going to move the second to -3 from entry. And I'm watching the delta. Quick hits. It's Friday. Scalp them if you got them. Oh, got it. Got him, guys. Got him. Plus 10 points. Oh no. Got it. Oh man, plus 10 on the second one got him, guys. Oh man, I should have held on to him. So I got +5 on the first, plus 10 on the second. Woohoo! Way to work. Let's trade the breakout. You can trade the breakout. You can try. If I do trade anything else from here on out, I am going to use micros. That put me at 15. Yeah, I just don't want to. I don't want to risk any. That's like 345. No, yeah, I don't want to risk any more of it. Like I'll trade micros. I'll take what it offers. So I'm looking at the breakout, the same setup we were looking for before. I'd trade that one. Then what I may do is shift the focus and let the ATA handle it. If I can, where the ATAs are. Let's see. All right, so it's 10:54. I'm gonna let this bar close first. But we're getting set up for that breakout trade. See if we can get it. I'm nibbling micros here. Dang it, I didn't get them. I got a few micros at, oh man, that was horrible. I tried to get those 26s and I got filled at oh my God. This is horrible. Long some micros here, team. Long some micros. Oh, we're going. Oh yeah, let's go. Popping. I got taken out of them. I got the first target for +5, and then it went -3, and I got taken out. So no harm, no foul on that. And I'd rather just sit it. I'd rather just be out. I think I'm over trading this now. I want to just chill. It's been a pretty good week. It's actually been a really good one with these swings that we're having, right? All right, I'm gonna try to get some more micros in here. Let's see if I can get in on a delta divergence, like with a slight pullback. Let's see. That was quick. Yeah, I love that. Those are the best ones. Quick in, quick out. Trying to get some micros on. I'm looking for a move up to 74.70, up in that area, up to the resistance cell on the blueprint. I'd love to be able to get like 20 to 25. I don't think we get it though. All right, I grabbed some here at 36 half. I did some at 36 half. Yeah, I'm just looking for that that mid AM high. All right, here we go. Moving on up. We got 7 in it. We're looking for 58 and 68 for the scale. I'm looking for 74.58, 74.68 to scale out of some. A reduced risk micro trade. So David asks, Manny, with the clock, is your plan to typically have a directional position heading into a high or low window to exit trades versus using the window for entries, or is it varied on the plan? So a good question, David. Just having a conversation about this with one of the guys yesterday, and so the way the way you want to use. So what I always say is price comes first, structure comes first, right? So case in point, right here we had 74.25. Market's trying to break over it, right? We on the market blueprint, I know I want to be long over the 7,400 because I'm treating that as a continuation long, right? So I don't want to initiate a long position once that window is open. So ideally, I want to buy, like we just did, the prior low pivot from a support, from an identified support. So this way I can be long directionally into that pivot. Does that make sense? Yeah, so I want to establish a directional position into a time-based window that aligns with my technical analysis. Okay. And we're going to cover that all on the 19th. I'm going to go into really nuanced approach with some core examples on it. But ideally, I don't want to start initiating. I want to be exiting into that window or scaling, tightening up, depending on the structure. Though, price is first. Price always has to be first, and then the time comes second. I'm gonna grab a quick cup of Joe here in a minute. We should get the move higher. You know, this was an area. I believe that the true continuation long was up here. The continuation long was 74.47. So that's the area that we're trying to contend with now. So if you are following the market blueprint, there is going to be another valid setup above 74.47. But again, we're getting a little bit late in that window, right? We're already into the window now. So now I want to be positioned. I was positioned long 73.92 and 73.93. I got +5 and +10 out of it on the new spike, and I took the points because I was in the mini. It's Friday. I want to try to take what the market offers, and then I pivoted to micros. Hey Jimbo, welcome. How are you? Let me try to get these comments. What's the white thing in the middle? Let's see. Jimbo, are you talking about this? You mean this piece right here? If so, that's a volume profile. So it's all the volume that has transacted today since the 6 p.m. open last night. You can have a volume profile for the regular trading hour session, so from the 9:30 open to the futures close, or you can have it for the entire session from the 6 p.m. open to the 5 p.m. close. I like to look at both. And on my trading chart, I want to have the entire session. The volume weighted average price for me on the entire session is more meaningful. And in the same regards, the volume point of control is more meaningful for the 24-hour session. Think about it, right? We're assessing volume. I want it all. I want all the volume. But I do watch the regular trading hours alone. That volume profile I keep on the TPO chart, which is this one. All right, team. So I'm going to just give me 30 seconds. I'm going to go run and grab a quick cup of coffee. 46. So what do we keep bumping up into here? Besides, that's interesting because that's a continuation long level, and that can act as resistance until it's not. The continuation long trade is typically, and the reason why that is the overnight high, right? So that was a resistance point before price was rallying in the overnight session, and it came there and it stopped. Why? Because there was selling there. That's how these areas get formed, and oftentimes you will see that the continuation long trade on the market blueprint, it aligns with the overnight high. But I never know if that's going to be the overnight high or not. I just know that and there are times where I drafted the market blueprint and the overnight high hasn't been formed yet, or the overnight low hasn't been formed yet. And then it's somewhere in that area. Like, so the continuation long is 74.47. And typically there's a reason, because there's some volume sitting there, and it's a technical level. You can see it right here. One of the other tools that I use is a fib cluster, and this is a program that I have that calculates Fibonacci levels on 10 different time frames. So this is how a little bit more insight into how I come up with my levels. So I take flows levels, I take Fibonacci clusters, and then I take the highest confluence areas. So you can see that this has been an area of resistance for a while. And the reason why I favor the continuation long is because typically what you see when that volume breaks through is there's forcing action on the other side of it. And that's why I like that setup so much, because you can get first and second target, like a 5 and a 10, pretty quickly if you nail the entry right. So yeah, we can see we've come up here 3 times. It should break now, and then in my expectation, we should scoot at least 10 points pretty quickly, I would hope. Easy Money asks, daily fib or also weekly fib? So this is a program. This is one of the only programs that I've ever bought, trading programs. It's the only one I ever bought. And I was fortunate enough, when I bought it years ago, it was like $5,000. And now he sells it for like $25,000 or $30,000. And what it does is it calculates Fibonacci levels on 10 different, or as many time frames as you want. So you can tell it, hey, I want you to calculate Fibonacci retracements, extensions, and expansions, and one-to-ones. And you can give it those 4 Fibonacci ratios, and you can say, hey, I want you to do that on a 10-year weekly and a 5-year weekly. I also want you to do it on a 3-year daily and a 2-year daily and a 1-year daily. And you can do that for weekly. You can do it for any time frame you want, monthly down to a 1-minute chart. But then the real magic and the real reason why the guy gets to charge that much for the program is because of the algorithm that he built that takes because if you drew out all those of Fibonacci levels, you're literally going to have a level on every line. There's going to be a Fibonacci at every level. But he wrote an algorithm. The guy's a programmer who wrote an algorithm that takes the confluence areas, and so this is calculated from last night, and you can see how much these levels matter, right? You can see the low here. It got the low, and again, if a level trades to within 5, I consider it hit, and you can see how it's nailed this level. And now it's telling us that this is potentially going to change to support. You can see here it kind of got this level, right? You can see price chopped around through it. You see this. I've been using this program since this is the first trading program I bought, so like 2010, and I still use it till today. I get the software updates. It's worth its weight. If I didn't own it at $5,000, but I had used it, I would probably, I would strongly consider buying it. But I don't know. That's a lot of money. I think I know enough to probably trade. I don't know. It'd be a tough sell at this point. but yeah, it's worth it. Yeah, it's really worth it. Yeah, so that's what I do, and I take those I take the fib clusters, I take the flow levels, and then one thing that I love is what I really like is I like diagonal trend lines. Let's see. Where is it? I forgot what works. So I like, let me give a blank chart here. We're moving up into that target now. So I really like, I don't like horizontal trend line support lines like this, but I do really like diagonals. I like channels. When I get a fib cluster and a flow level on a higher time frame, diagonal channel support or something of that nature, I just, let's go limit order. Let's do it. Watch it trade. Let's get the order flow. Let's get into it. I just recently cleaned it up, but I love diagonal trend lines. So from the rally here that we've been experiencing, there haven't been any pullbacks, but eventually I'm dying to pull this one. All right. And there's another main channel trend line chart that I use that I won't even show you because it has so many lines on it. You'd think I'm nuts. Seriously. But I don't want to delete it because every level there is important to me. Let's see, where is it? This is my other workspace. All right, hey, let's get back to the price action. 74.38, moving up into, I thought I had it at scale at 74.58 for 20 points. Let me just make sure that if I get this one, I'm not going to move it now. It would be 74.56. This is a reduced risk micro trade. And one of the important things is whether you're getting your levels from fib clusters, from diagonal trend lines, from Fibonacci's, from whatever. I think more it's just having that process of creating a process and then seeing what works. Because like case in point, David's in here today, and David has his own system and it works. I've seen it. I trade some of it. I respect it, and he's devised his process over time. It's high, oftentimes you'll hear our levels match, and it's the process of what I call like massaging the charts, right? Getting into it every day, developing. Hey, when I first started out, it would take me about 2 hours, and on the weekends I would spend about another couple of hours. But having that process and avoiding the idea that you can come and sit down at your workstation in the morning, turn on some indicators, and that's going to be enough to make more money than a doctor. I wish it was that easy. It's just not. Many have tried, and most have failed. Yeah, David's pretty good at what he does. He's like he said, he's got a system. It works really well. A lot of respect for what David does. You always know the guys that have a process and have a system. They're kind of wired a certain way. And that, so which brings me to another topic, which there are. I feel that now we were recently we're having this conversation about traders that learned how to trade before like the funded era, before the prop firm era, versus funded era traders. There's a lot more people are trading post COVID, and what they discovered was that they can utilize prop firms at $100 for an evaluation, and they could trade, and a lot of prop firms sell it as a dream. Hey, here's $100, come learn how to trade, and if you're good enough, we'll fund you, right? Yeah, it is alluring. The previous traders had to learn how to trade through their own personal accounts, and those are more hard-earned lessons. And so they tend to have more of a process, because every dollar is your dollar. Blowing up an account had real consequences. I remember there being at least 16 to 18 months between my blown account, my first blown account, and my next blown account, because I had life and I had to save the money to trade again. You need 20, 30 grand to be able to trade. But because of that, I learned a lot of patience. I learned a lot of capital preservation. I learned a lot of risk management. But most importantly, I think I learned how to survive. I wouldn't be here 20 years later if I didn't learn how to just basically survive. And that's risk management. Whereas like the funded era trader, capital seems abundant, right? It's YOLO. It's everybody's streaming and everybody's posting these big, huge P&Ls, right? And that's fantastic. More power to the people who are using that system and who are capitalizing on it. That's fantastic. I often wish I learned how to trade and there were micros available to me. I wish that I had prop firms available to me. I think that I would have certainly saved me from a lot of pain. I think, there were, all right, got the first target at 56. So plus 20 points on that one, plus 20 points on that one. We're going to register a lot today. It's very fruitful. Keep Mrs. Manny and many trips to target. So back to what I was mentioning was, but the funded era trader also has the challenge to deal with, in that because there's more capital abundance, they have less respect for risk. There's less attachment to that capital because you didn't spend 6 months saving it. And so in that regard, they also have shorter attention spans. They tend to system hop more. One day they're trading this, one day they're trading moving averages, the next day they're trading Fibonacci's, the next day they're trading fair value gaps. I've seen a lot of that stuff. And so I think that there's a magical happy space between the two. Like, so sometimes some legacy traders can be too set in their ways and struggle to adapt to new tools and new methodologies, right? So sometimes they can be too inflexible. But I think that if you allow yourself some flexibility, the pre-funded era trader probably has an advantage over the funded era trader, in that they will go the distance. The pre-funded traders probably look down on funded era traders, and they stay set in their ways. Where funded era traders, I think they struggle to stay committed to any process. I don't know, just my thoughts on it. The best traders, I think, today combine both. They have like that legacy trader discipline, and they know how to capitalize on the funded trader opportunities. When you marry, the real opportunity today isn't choosing one side. It's using modern funding opportunities while maintaining that old school risk management. All right, we're coming into, what time is it? It's 11:20, and so I just want to make sure that I get a little bit more off. I've only been able to cover one of these contracts, so I'm just going to I just took 2 more off for 18 points. for around 18 points. I took 2 more off. Find a toy. I want to start shifting. I want to get a news intro like that one. That's too cheesy. Live Action says, I was in Davis. Okay. And you touched on something, risk management. Yeah, I think, it's also about saving you those headaches. And think about it, at least for me, right? It's about longevity. It's about consistent profitability, especially now with AI and things of that nature. And if people are going to need to other unconventional ways to earn a living. And so long as the fundamental markets don't change, right? Just greed and fear, and there's a market to trade. If you develop the skills to trade it, then you can have a career where you can work from home, you can dictate your own hours, but you have to learn the skill. You have to clamp down, dedicate some time. It's not the end of the world to dedicate 6 months or a year to developing a process and then having a 10 or 15-year career. All right, looks like they're coming in a little bit here. Let's see, 7-4. I'm going to go ahead and take another one off right here. It's Friday. We're not. All right, so I took another one off for plus 12 points. Moving this one, tightening up the risk. If we come back into the overnight range, I don't want any part of it. But we are into that window. So this is a good example of the question that David asked. We see now I want it to be long into the window, right? So I was getting long on the dip, right? So for us, us that are using the execution clock, for us using the market blueprint, we're looking at this dip not as a sell opportunity. We're looking at this as a divergence in time, right? So price is moving opposite to what we think it should do. And thus, it gives us the conviction to buy this dip. And that's where I got long at 73.92 and I had 73.93. And we got 5 points and 10 points out of it on the news pop on that huge 5-minute candle. Yeah, the low of that candle was 73.90. The high was, Jesus, 74.34. My gosh, that's a, Jesus. Is that real? That's a sweet candle if you're long. It's a headache if you're not. If you were short, like if you sold this break, yikes. If you and look, I'm sure a lot of people did, right? Because think about it. Let's just review this technically, right? Look at it from the other side, right? Resistance. I mean, there wouldn't have been much wrong. We have resistance. It held on multiple touches. Huh. Okay. Just give me a second. For sure. Apologize about that, team. So if you sold this break, right? The only thing that would have been wrong with this is just managing your of course, we knew that we were expecting a low, right? to 1030. But if this was more, if you continue to look back, lower high, lower high, lower high. So yeah, your target right there, inability to test the overnight high. You're looking for a test of the overnight low. You sold it right here, and then the news came out and you got stopped out. I'm sure a lot of people, I hope no one here got caught on that. And if you did, just understand, looking at the technical aspect of the trade, that in theory there wasn't anything wrong with that if you were solely trading this chart. If this was your only tool, that trade made sense. All right, team. So it's 11:30. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up for the morning session. Quick programming note. Looks like I'm going to get stopped out on this. Yep, got taken out. I got taken out for a little bit over break even. Yes, thanks, Live Action. Thanks, Easy Money. Yeah, quick programming note. We are working on some new production, a new production schedule coming very, very soon, where we're going to have a little bit more of cohesion between the presenters and the tools and the presentation. Look out for that coming into next week. We're working on the schedule right now, and hopefully we can bring that to you soon. Hopefully next week, but we'll see. I can't promise anything yet. Look out for that. But it's going to be a more consistent lineup of presenters, and instead of us tuning off and ending the show, there's going to be a natural overlap and presenters throughout the day. So look out for that. Again, if you got anything out of this at all, leave a comment, hit the subscribe button, tap the like button, and come back and see us on Monday, because we'll be back at it again, trading the ES. Have a great weekend, everyone. Thanks for your support.